This is Basecamp training for editors and scriptwriters. This training module is specific to editors and scriptwriters. It assumes that you have already watched the introduction to Basecamp video created when we started using this service. If you have not, you may want to arrange to have that training prior to watching this training module. We're going to break this down into resources and actions. We'll look at where you can find resources, meaning information, instruction, notation, and assets. Assets are things like the book cover, the PIF, etc. Actions deal with the things you need to do on Basecamp as part of your responsibility with a given project. That would include milestones, to-dos, comments, and uploads. First, let's look at resources. Let's look at the project overview. The project overview, which can be found on the Overview tab, will let you know the following things. Here you're going to find the title, the author name, the type of project, as well as the script writer and the editor, the project coordinator, the release date, so you know when the book will actually be released, what the genre is, what the distribution date is going to be, and who the client contact is. It will also tell you if this is waived or non-waived. For editors, this is very important since non-waived projects need to be watermarked. That means that the client has not paid for their video yet. So we want to make sure that those non-waived are watermarked. As you can see, there's also a calendar. It's with some vital at-a-glance information, and as we go through and add dates to the to-dos and milestones, there will be more that will show up on that calendar, but it's nice to have that at a glance. Next, let's look at the Message tab. Anything important to the entire project will be listed there. This is information available to the entire team. Next is the To-Dos tab, and remember, we're just looking at resources at this moment. As a resource, this is where you can find out who else is working on this project and what the general timeline is supposed to be. For example, here you can see the release date of this project is December 27th. That would let you know that the video obviously is going to need to be done prior to that. So it just gives you an idea of the overall timeline of the entire project. Along the way, people may have made comments on a certain to-do item. You'll know there are comments when you see a dialog bubble next to the item. The bubble is green if there are comments that you haven't seen. You can click on the bubble, and here you'll see whatever that comment is. Next is the Milestones. The Milestones tab, that's where you find out who is responsible for monitoring a set of tasks. Again, you can look at the dialog bubble if you're interested in detailed information about what's going on with the project as it progresses. Also, you'll see, again, like on the overview page, there's a calendar. Using the Whiteboards tab, you can find a lot of resources. The PIFs will be there and updated continuously throughout the project for easy viewing online. The script may be there as well as other types of communication. Not all scripts can be used on the Whiteboard. If the script is done in a PDF, you'll find that in the Files area instead. So if you're looking for a script and it's not there on the Whiteboard, you can go over and look under Files. The Time tab is next, but it's not currently in use. You may safely ignore this tab on Basecamp for all projects. So under Files tab, you can find a lot of important things, starting with the PIF, or Project Information Form, the contract, script, photos, book cover, perhaps a manuscript, and eventually the video will go there as well. Note that you may have to right-click these items and select Save As link in order to download them to your computer. That brings us to the action portion of the training. When you complete your script or video and have the approval, you will need to upload that into the files area. If the client sends you any assets, please be sure to add those to the files area. Sometimes the book cover will change and the editor will get it, but not customer service. So we ask that if you receive any assets, that you upload them to files. Under the Files tab, you choose the Upload button in the upper right corner. That will bring a Choose a File to Upload Browse button where you can easily upload the asset. Give the asset a descriptor under the title area, and then determine if you feel anyone listed under Notify People via email need to know that you put it there. None of us like unnecessary email, and Basecamp is notorious for sending out reminders and informing email, so anytime we can cut down on that, it's preferred. So please do determine who, if anyone, needs to know about this asset and click only on their name. If other names are automatically checked and they don't need to have an email, please uncheck that name. That said, the project coordinator should always be notified of new files that have been uploaded. But if there are 20 images being uploaded, they probably don't need to see every single one of them. So you can just choose one and send that as a representative. Once you attach the asset, you'll click the Upload a File button, and the asset will upload, and any associated email will automatically go out. In order to put something on the right board, you need to go to that tab, click Create a Right Board in the upper right corner, give it a title, hit Create a New Right Board, and you can put your message in here. You can type it or you can cut and paste. You can choose who needs to have that information or unchoose, and hit Save this right board. In order to get back to the tabs, go back, and there you can see the test. You will most likely not have any actions for the milestone tab, but if you're told that a date has been changed and you think it applies to a milestone, you can go to that tab and leave a comment under the milestone so the person in charge can make any changes necessary. In order to do that, you simply hover the cursor to the right of the milestone, click it, and you can leave your message. And again, you can check or uncheck who's going to get this comment, but it also will let us know, be able to track kind of the history of what has been happening with this project. The Messages tab is much the same. You post a new message, it'll let you choose who can have it, and you may choose not to send it to anyone, but let's just say you want to have this on record. If there's any troubleshooting that you've done, if you've had a conversation with the client that you think that other people might want to know about later on, and you just kind of want to cover all the bases, you can go ahead and put this up in the messages area just so that it exists there. Again, it's always nice to let the project coordinator know if there's anything going on, just in case the client should contact them. At least they have a heads up as to where they can go and find out more about what's going on. The To-Do tab is where you're going to find most of your assigned actions. This is very vital to a smooth process and successful project. The key here is communication. These to-dos are there because they affect other people along the process. Getting your cooperation with this new process will allow us to take on even more projects. The milestone is video production to-do list, but it includes a lot of other elements that happen during the production process. The person gathering the assets, including the book cover, is the project coordinator. You can find out who that is by looking at the name to the right of the to-do. It also tells you when the completion date of that to-do task is expected. The same applies for all of the to-do tasks. You'll see who is assigned and when the due date is. If there isn't a due date, it could be that we're waiting for more information in order to update that and put in a date. For editors, we need you to let us know when you make initial contact. That way we know you got what you needed and we've moved forward. It keeps anything from falling through the cracks, as email and Basecamp is not always reliable. When we see you check off that to do, we know the project is with you and you've moved on it. We also need to know when you send the first draft to the client. It lets us know where you are in the process and that the client is now involved at this level. Knowing this is important to distribution, QA, and other to-do or milestones as far as timing goes. You'll check off when you get the final video approval and again when you send the final AVI to processing. Something new is send invoice to COS. We've had a few issues with invoices not being sent and then they'll come in as a batch. This makes it very hard on accounting and it can actually make other accounting projects late. So we ask that you check this off after you send us an invoice. Be sure to upload all versions of the video to Basecamp under the Files tab. Once you do that and send an invoice, you have completed the project. For scriptwriters, there's the same initial client contact, write script, first draft sent to the client, then script approval, and then you're sending the script and any editor's notes to the editor. Make sure you click Editor, Heather, and Renee's names upon upload. Being able to correctly utilize Basecamp allows us to make room for more growth. We'll be adding web design and marketing this year, which brings in more publishers, which brings in more video orders. Clear, documented communication is important on many levels. Over 30 people are using Basecamp, and each of those people have a different need or action. What you do, what you share, affects others. And just like you would like to know when there are changes or additional information about a project assigned to you, so do the people who come before and after you. Anything you communicate during the process is helpful, but getting those to-dos and actions done is imperative to the growth of COS. Thank you.